pressure. Well, it's not Joe. They've already overachieved. It's not Patrick Mahomes. They've made multiple AFC championships, and it's not Jimmy G, because we know what Jimmy G is. And Kyle Shanahan's not under pressure. I think it's Matthew Stafford, and that's not pressure from Detroit at all. I mean, that narrative's done and over with. It's from the Rams side of things. So you got to look at Rams fan base. They want to go to a Super Bowl. If they lose to the 49ers in fall, it would be now 8-3 against Sean McVay. The 49ers are. You can't live with that. You can't accept that. You're the clear better team, the better quarterback. So it doesn't make sense to me. And number one, it is his first year in LA. I get that. But falling 7 straight times to Kyle Shanahan over the last 7 games is also not a good thing. And you can't really ask anymore what Matthew Stafford's done this year for the Rams. Honestly, a great first year, over 40 touchdowns, top whatever in QBR, top 3 in QBR. It was excellent. But you can't get bounced in the playoffs, even if you're in the NFC Championship, to a 49ers team who has Jimmy G and a significantly worse roster than the Rams, comparable player by player. So it's Matthew Stafford. Now, I think Matthew has a great chance to change his narrative. I think he does. And he's already done it in Detroit, but just overall narrative of ever getting to the Super Bowl. Braylon Edwards said it best yesterday in the office. It's possible for Matthew to go from maybe the most underachieved quarterback, being a number 1 overall pick in Detroit, to now maybe a Hall of Famer. If he wins the Super Bowl, he gets there. So I think, nothing but love for him from Detroit, at least from my perspective. But in LA, I think there's pressure, and there's pressure to get to the Super Bowl. Now, if he loses in the Super Bowl, I think people can at least live with it. But if you drop in the NFC Championship to the 49ers, even in your first year, and you might lose some of these guys next year, I think that's a problem. So I think Stafford's under pressure. Now, it's not in Detroit, though. That's over with.
Yeah, no, I don't think Stafford's under pressure. 0.
Okay, give me another one then.
Same team.
Did
Sean
you say
McVay. Sean McVay.
What?
You can't lose 6 straight to Kyle Shanahan. And look, Kyle Shanahan, again, my opinion, one of the better coaches. Top 5, top 6, top 7, depends where you want to put him. I don't care. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL. Okay? Styles make fights. Styles make matchups. You can't lose 6 straight. And not only can you not lose 6 straight, you cannot lose 3 times to the same team in a single year. The quarterback is not under pressure.
Yeah.
The whole entire narrative that he came with, the baggage, he can't win you the big games, can't beat teams with winning records.
Yeah, but
can't do any of that. Can't win playoff games. Can't win the division. Mm-hmm. Can't take your team far in the playoffs. 12-5 in the regular season, division winner. 2-0 in the playoffs against 2 winning teams, Matt. Beat the Cardinals towards the end of the year. Beat the Bucks earlier in the year.
No, you're right.
Beat them both in the playoffs. Like, he is
but
not...
But you're answering Detroit's narrative. The Rams don't give a damn about can he win the big games.
No, we're not going to change it now. No.
We're not changing it. That was Detroit's...
Again, the narrative that came with him is done.
From our perspective, yes.
No, not from our perspective.
Rams want a Super Bowl.
The national narrative on Stafford, not just local, was he underachieved in Detroit.
Yeah.
He couldn't win the big games. All right, fair. He's erased all of that already. Done. Dusted.
You got to get to a Super Bowl.
He is not he's not under the most pressure this weekend. He was under the most pressure against Arizona. You could not lose that game. That would have been embarrassing.
You can't.
And then he goes up against Tom Brady, the defending champions, and walks it off.
Mm-hmm.
He has proven that you can win not only big games with him, but you can just win with him in general.
This is
something
a big
the
game.
Lions couldn't do. Of course, it's a big game.
So if you lose this game,
no, it's not. It doesn't change everything.
So let me ask you this: you're a Rams fan. Let's just say, for example,
okay,
you beat Tom Brady, you lose to the 49ers. Well, we beat Tom Brady.
No,
it's a good year.
No one's happy about them losing.
That's pressure. That's pressure on Stafford.
Every team is under pressure, but the guy that's under the most pressure is not Matthew Stafford.
It ain't Sean McVay.
Yes, it is. He's lost 6 straight to Kyle Shanahan.
Okay.
He's still an accomplished 2 this year against them. He was part of the. Do I have to remind you guys? They did blow a 17-point lead, if I do recall, or a 14-point lead against the Niners.
Yeah, offense wasn't looking good.
Okay, Sean McVay is under the most pressure.
No.
Because if he loses a 7th straight time, and 3 times in a single year to the same coach, that is a problem. The Bengals aren't under any pressure. They're happy to be there. The Chiefs, that's their 4th straight AFC title game. They are not under pressure. They've been to 2 straight Super Bowls. They lose, you know what? It was a run. We went up against a team that was hot. Joe Burrow, they're up and coming. They're going to be around for a while. All right, we didn't get it done. The Niners, I told you already, they're going to retool. We're going to build around Trey Lance. Whether they win or lose, it's, all right, Trey Lance time. Let's restock the team. With the Rams, so many question marks. And I'm sorry. I love Sean McVay. You cannot lose to the same team 3 times in a single year. Sean McVay's under more pressure, not Matthew Stafford. Stafford has over-delivered in these playoffs. He delivered in the regular. What do you mean, no? He's over-delivered.
He's over-delivered, you're right, but this is the Rams' perspective. They don't give a damn.
The Rams' perspective.
They don't give a damn.
The Rams' perspective is they were underdogs going into Tampa Bay, which means they should have lost that game.
We talked about who was the more healthy roster going to that game.
The Rams.
Okay, so we talked about more healthy of a roster. Tom Brady's going to have an uphill battle. They had 4 turnovers in the last how many minutes? They would have beaten the Bucs. Okay, we get that. Good job. But you're not going to tell me a win over Tom Brady next year. You better win the Super. You have to get a Super Bowl or something.
What was Matthew Stafford brought here to do? Get to the Super Bowl. Correct?
Yeah, and probably win it. Because Jared Goff got there. You got to win it. You got to win it.
Last I checked. Okay, Jared Goff got there. He threw 1 touchdown on the way there.
So that's why they upgraded that quarterback. Right.
They want to get back to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. They want to be one of the better teams in the NFL. They could not win their division for the last 2 years with Jared Goff, which is why they traded for Stafford.
Yeah, he's a better quarterback.
They win the division. They win 2 playoff games. One of them on the road. Now they're hosting an NFC title game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're all in.
Sean McVay. Look, if Stafford goes out and throws 30 interceptions, sure. But going into the weekend, I'm sorry. It is Sean McVay. It is not Matthew Stafford. How is Matthew Stafford under pressure?
He can very well lose in the game.
He's already delivered in these playoffs. He's delivered. He's been the best quarterback in the playoffs.
Okay. But you just made my point. You said if he goes in and throws 3 interceptions, that's why the pressure.
Yes, but going into the game, who's under more pressure, Sean McVay or Matthew Stafford? It's clearly Sean McVay. Now, if Stafford has a horrible game,
that's my point.
Of course, Monday you're going to come in and we're going to say you can't play like that. That's an NFC title game. Oh my goodness, we'll have the conversation Monday. But going into the weekend, it has to be Sean McVay. He's lost 6 straight to this coach.
Okay, so if Matthew throws 2-3 interceptions, they lose. You're going to be like, all right, Sean McVay,
we're talking about
you
going into the game. I'm not talking after the game.
I don't know what Stafford's going to do. He's shown he could turn the ball over multiple times, or he has a great game. That's pressure. Are you going to throw your team do a loss?
In this playoffs. What Stafford's done in this playoffs.
Hasn't thrown an interception.
He hasn't thrown an interception. Right. He's been money.
He's been money.
He's been absolute money. I'm not worried about Stafford against the Niners. I'm not. Sean McVay, are you going to overthink it? Are you going to overthink it again? And are you going to lose to Kyle Shanahan?
Adam, they're 0-2 against 49ers this season. Who was that quarterback? And who played bad in both games? Who played bad in both games?
Matthew Stafford.
Okay. So you're making my point. Now we're in the playoffs. Okay, so Sean McVay's the reason why he had 4 or 5 interceptions the last 2 games. This guy, he plays amazing in the playoffs. He's had a great run. This isn't me going against Stafford, but the reality is, if Stafford goes out there, yes, you can crap on Sean McVay, but I'm not going to sit here and say, well, Stafford's fine. I mean, he threw his interception, but
Stafford has 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in his 2 games against the Niners. That's bad?
That's good.
I'm asking. You said he had 2 bad games.
Yeah. I mean, the last game he threw 2 interceptions. They were leading 17-0. So you're going to tell me that was a great game by him?
I'm not saying he played amazing. Okay. The point is, we're talking about pressure, man. Pressure.
Yeah.
Well, who is under more pressure? The guy that came in year 1 has already delivered way more than people even expected. And none of you tell me that going into the year, they were a Super Bowl or bust roster. They upgraded mid-season, and they were struggling on defense, and they got better with Von Miller. And OBJ saved them because they lost Robert Woods. And they didn't have Cam Akers the entire year. We make up things in our head. I'm sorry, Sean McVay needs to beat Kyle Shanahan. And we'll get to it later. Is Kyle Shanahan in Sean McVay's head? And he came out and said no, obviously. But I'm sorry, you don't lose 6 straight times to a head coach. And you tell me that the quarterback who's there for the first time, making his first ever title game appearance, is under more pressure. I don't get it.
No, from a Rams fan base, if they lose, they're not going to say fire Sean McVay. I'll tell you that.
No, and they're not going to say get rid of Stafford either.
They're going to be like, if he plays bad, come on, dude.
What do you mean they got to a Super Bowl with a quarterback who threw 1 touchdown?
So what are they expecting with Stafford?
They're expecting more, but he's already delivered for them. That is
so
my
they beat
point.
Tom Brady. Congrats, LA. You guys are more than happy. No, that's not how that works.
This is hilarious.
Matthew Stafford is under. I mean, they're both under pressure, but Sean McVay's fine. Unless he wants to go to TV.
Going into the game, McVay is under more pressure. That is a fact. He's lost 6 straight to this head coach. 0-2 this season. He started off 3-1 against the Niners. Now 0-6. Him and Kyle Shanahan were hired at the same time. They're both making their second NFC title game appearance. The pressure is on Sean McVay because if he gets outcoached again for the 3rd time this year, and may I remind you, he was outcoached in both games, especially in the second half of the Week 18 matchup. If he is outcoached again in an NFC title game, He's the one under pressure.
Yeah.
You're going to be the one sitting up here like, Sean, you got to put your team in the best position possible. You guys made 0 halftime adjustments. This is the 3rd time this year you saw the Niners do exactly what they were going to do against you, and you still couldn't stop it. Not, the quarterback. Nobody cares about the quarterback going into the game.
Yeah, they don't.
The quarterback is not under pressure.
Yes, he is.
And he has shown you he's already delivered these playoffs. He's money for. You're not even worried about how Stafford's going to perform.
Yeah.
You're worried about is Sean McVay going to get out coached. I don't know how you're actually sitting up there and saying Stafford is under more pressure. I don't get it.
I'll give you this, and this is a fact.
I don't get it.
This is a fact. If Matthew plays well and they lose, I'll give you that. Sean
No,
McVay.
I'm talking about going in. I don't want to talk about the after.
Going in, it's Matthew Stafford to me. But listen, it's all opinion.
You haven't said anything outside of from a Rams fan's perspective. Nothing else.
Under more pressure.
All you're talking about
Who are we talking about? Under more pressure, we'll say
going
national
into
media.
the game.
National media, right? Expectations.
Going into the game.
So if Jimmy G and the 49ers lose, it's okay.
I don't care what happens. I'm talking about before the game.
Okay, whatever. If I can't talk, you can finish your argument. If
you're talking about everything after the game.
If you got something to say, just say it then.
I did.
Okay,
Stop talking about after the game. Talk to me about before the game. Explain to me why Stafford is under more pressure than Sean McVay.
No, you're not.
Okay. You're talking to me about the game. I will let you talk when you stop talking to me about after the game if something happens. Talk to me about before the game. I'm waiting.
Okay. All right. So, I was just waiting I just didn't know if you had anything to get out. So, with Stafford, this is my point. Expectations for Detroit, he's over-delivered, in my opinion. Yes, he's won the division, due to the Cardinals choking, of course, but they won a division. He had a great year, great first season with Sean McVay. Yes, if Sean McVay loses his 7th now straight game to Kyle Shanahan, it's not good. It's not a good look. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, but with Stafford, for his first year, I think despite that, if they lose that game, now situationally it matters. Now I'm not going to sit here and say before the game Stafford's okay. He's fine. He's played well in the playoffs. He has. But if they lose to the 49ers 3 straight times in Matthew's first year, you're going to look at Sean McVay and Matthew, of course. So it's honestly a debate. It doesn't really matter at this point. But I think it's Stafford. I'm going to stick by it. And if he plays well, he plays his ass off, and they still lose, then what am I going to say? I mean, that's my point. If Stafford goes out and throws 350 yards.
I don't care about what happens. I'm not talking about Monday. Going into that game, I have a head coach who's lost 6 straight games to one head coach in his own division, who got outcoached in the first game and outcoached in the second half of the second game. That's a reality. Did the quarterback play well in the second half? No, he didn't.
No.
But I have a coach that's lost 6 straight to this guy. You cannot lose 3 games to the same team in a single given year. That is unacceptable. I don't care if Matty is your quarterback. Sean McVay needs to step up. I'm sorry. Sean McVay needs to have a very similar performance like he did against Tampa Bay.
Maddie, tell about your pick 6.
Sean McVay needs to show up like he did in Tampa Bay. It's that simple. I need the team coming out strong, not making mistakes, putting points up on the board. The defense will take care of itself. But don't you dare sit there and tell me that Sean McVay, not the quarterback who has the highest passer rating, I believe tied for the most touchdowns, the fewest interceptions in the playoffs,
has shown his interceptions can lose you games.
Oh my goodness, so can any quarterback who throws interceptions can lose you games. I don't get that argument. Any quarterback, if he throws interceptions, will cost you a game. It's unbelievable to me. It really is.